Hey everyone, and welcome to the Camview, and this is my review for Don't Worry Darling. This movie was directed by Olivia Wilde and stars Florence Pugh, Harry Styles, Chris Pine, and other actors such as Gemma Chan. Many of you would know this film for the drama surrounding the film and all that jazz, but I honestly don't care about that drama. I went to see this film purely because it looked interesting and intriguing, and I like most of the actors in the film, and also I really wanted to see what Harry Styles would be like. But anyways, let's get right into this review, and there are no spoilers within this video. If you don't know what this film was about, don't worry, I've got you covered. This psychological thriller follows the married couple Alice and Jack, portrayed by Florence Pugh and Harry Styles, in a 1950s style town who live in the ideal community of Victory, an experimental town where the men work for the Victory Project, a company doing top secret work every day, while their wives enjoy living as the typical 1950s housewives. Now, this plot was really interesting. It's probably one of the driving forces for me to go see it, as well as the actors. For me, the plot felt fairly good. It wasn't that cliche for me. I'm aware that for many others, the film would have many cliche plots, but I am not a huge horror fan or a psychological thriller movie fan, so that was a plus for me. Firstly, I would love to talk about the imagery and the visuals. There was some good imagery and interesting visuals. For most of the film, it kept me really hooked and engaged because of these visuals. And that goes for the cinematography also. The camera work, I guess, for some aspects seemed cliche for that type of genre, but there was some really good zoom-in effects on the characters' faces when there was a horrific moment going on. And just generally in conversations, it lingered for a long time on certain characters and on certain angles, and that made it interesting. Of course, that's a usual thing. When the camera lingers, of course there's something not right, or you're meant to focus on it for a longer period of time. But I thought it worked really well here, and I really loved it. Florence Pugh is a really great addition to this movie. She emotes excellently. Her facial expressions are really good, and for me, they're actually a vital part of this movie. The tone and the way she spoke and the tone in her face was really good, and in the scene where she's arguing with Jack or another character, she is really on her game here, and I feel like she always brings an energy to her roles, and this is definitely no exception to that. She's really great here, and I would recommend seeing this movie just because of her. She's really outstanding. Now, looking at Harry Styles now, he was good. I didn't think his performance was necessarily bad, but there were times where he was blank-faced and expressionless at moments where there really should be expression. There was a scene, I remember, it was like, I don't want to go into it too much, but there was a party and he was at the front of everyone and he was just kind of standing there, emotionless, and then he started dancing and his face was also expressionless and it was uncomfortable. That might have been the point, but I just found it really weird and odd and unnatural. Again, might have been the point of the movie, of that scene, but I didn't like it that much. But overall, I think Harry Styles was doing his best, especially in when he's mad in some scenes. He's clearly doing his best, and I enjoyed that he was doing that, and I enjoyed his performance. But I know for many people in the cinema that I was in, they were laughing at Harry Styles because they couldn't see him as an actor clearly. They couldn't keep a straight face when he was angry, which I understand, but you know, he was doing his best. I'll give him some credit. On the other hand, Chris Pine was excellent at the same level of Florence Pugh, I might add. He was really good as the villain. He played a really menacing and manipulative villain, but unfortunately, he had a criminal amount of screen time, and that sucks. Like, it really brought the movie down for me. I was really sad at the end of the film where he didn't get enough screen time, and I was like, yeah, he didn't get enough screen time when I realized, and it was terrible. I wanted more of him, I really did, but in the end, he didn't have enough screen time, and that brought the movie down for me a lot. Now, psychological thrillers and scary movies are really not my forte. I don't know much about them, like I said before. I'm not very familiar with these movies, and even though I'm aware that there were some cliches because I've heard from other people, I didn't really notice them too much. I thought it was doing a really good job, even though I might have expected a scene like, oh yeah, the music's building up, there'll be a jump scare right now. That's just common sense, but that doesn't mean the film was bad or anything. it still kept me really engaged and scared for like half the film. But yeah, did a great job. Something else that I really love to quickly talk about is the music. The score was really good. It was, well, not good. Yeah, okay, it was good, but it was really scary and intimidating. The way, I'm not really sure who composed the score, but it was very heavily leaned on female voices. And that was really scary because it was like light breathing, gasping kind of stuff. And it was really scary. Like, it wasn't nice. It was really eerie and it was really terrifying. But I guess for the sake of the film, it added to the film and made it a more engaging movie. So I'll give him credit. And the song choices too, there was many different songs around the 50s era that they chose, and it was great. When the songs were gone, I was like, oh yeah, this is great. And it took away from the scary moments, but then the music would cut and it'd be scary again, which was good and it was really effective, but it still meant I was scared. But I understand how effective it was and still made it a good movie. Now, I do really wish that the ending went longer. There were definitely moments within the film that dragged a lot, especially for me. I know the plot picked up around the 3/4 mark, leading towards the third act. It really picked up for me then. But a lot of the other times, it was just trying to fill in some jump scares. And I was like, do we really need that? I'm sure we could just cut that out and leave more room for the ending so it could be better. Because there were some really interesting aspects of the ending that I wanted to explore, because there was reveals and revelations, and I was like, oh, this is actually really cool and a really cool concept. I'm not going to talk about it because that's spoilers, but when you watch it, I think you'll understand what I'm talking about, which it just was really disappointing for me. And another thing that isn't relevant to the ending, but this film had a lot of sex scenes that I thought didn't really need to be there. I know sometimes sex scenes can be a somewhat important aspect for the characters in the movie, like it might build their relationship and build their intimacy. I understand that, but this movie was trying to achieve that, but it failed because it would just linger on the sex scene for longer than it really should. It made me uncomfortable, and there were many people in the theater that it just went dead silent when it happened, when the sex scenes would happen, and I was like kind of laughing inside because like, this is really uncomfortable and also kind of bad. It wasn't that enjoyable, and I think the film would have definitely done better, I reckon, if there was no sex scenes within the film. All in all, I really enjoyed this movie, and I thought it was really effective and it was really engaging for most of the film. Even though there were clearly some things that I did not enjoy and aspects that I thought could have been more expanded upon, I still really enjoyed it and thought the actors and actresses did a really great job. I forgot to talk about Olivia Wilde. She was also in the movie, and she played a really interesting character too, and I think her direction of the film was actually good. I enjoyed it. So all in all, I would actually give this movie a 4 out of 5 stars. Anyways guys, please let me know what you thought of the movie in the comments below, or DM me your thoughts at thecanview21 on Instagram, and I can't wait to do more videos, and I can't wait to watch more things, and I really can't wait to hear from you. Thank you very much and have a lovely day.